as an ex-co-founder of Lawyers Without Borders, how did you react when you heard Mr. Legault from Paris?
I would be very curious, very interested in knowing what legal opinion had Mr. Legault or the government before making such a ridiculous statement, thinking that in Quebec we will send police officers to get somebody, physically get somebody, and put him on a bus or her on a bus and send her or him in Saskatchewan. It will not happen. So honestly, ask Mr. Legault what legal opinion he had.
Is it feasible, like, to do what he is suggesting Ottawa to do?
It will not happen. It will not happen, and it will not happen. That's absolutely ridiculous, that statement. It's showing how Mr. Legault has lost it when it comes to immigration. He's ready to say anything to try to hide the fact that the whole policy by the Quebec government and by the federal government is a disaster and is leading to such ridiculous statement by the Prime Minister. It will not happen. It will never happen.
There are two things you can do. You can, at the arrival, have a deal within provinces to send newcomers in a province or another. We've done that in Roxham. There was, between Ontario and Quebec, such a deal. It's being done right now in the European Union. The other thing you can do is put incentives for someone who landed in Quebec to go to Saskatchewan or Alberta. And that deal must be negotiated among provinces. What incentive? Who's going to finance? But you'll notice that other provinces that were so prompt, so quick on saying that Quebec was intolerant, they don't want refugees. They said no. And you'll see that the federal government is not very keen on putting incentives, putting money to make sure there are incentives that are satisfying other provinces. So it's very easy to do moral signaling when Quebec is the only province with the situation. But what you see afterwards is that when other provinces are confronted with the same questions, interestingly enough, their answer is less generous than Quebec's answer.
When Mr. Robert yesterday seemed taken off guard by these statements, he didn't stop in the hall when we tried to ask him, how would this work? How would you...
By the way, it's very funny because yesterday he was at a TV program at LCN, and he was showing a document that is from the federal government. And the funny part is that the document says that it's impossible and illegal to do what François Legault suggested yesterday. So if you want to, I'm saying this because it's showing the level of n'importe quoi, improvisation.
In French, you said it was wacky.
Yeah,
Wacko.
it's
wacky.
wacko.
Not wacko.
It lacks credibility, and it's not healthy in terms of Quebec's politics and also Quebec's image abroad. It's just...
When we ask him how would this, Mr. Rubich, how this will work, they're saying, well, it'll be up to Ottawa. It's up to Ottawa to figure that out. So Mr. Legault drops this in Paris, and what do you think of that?
It's a disaster. I mean, they know, we know, everyone knows that not only it's not feasible, Ottawa will never do that, Quebec would never do that. And the solutions, they are at the airport or in terms of incentives given to other provinces to attract a certain number of people on a voluntary basis. We all know that, so we shouldn't give too much time and credibility to the random statements of François Legault. We are, unfortunately, at that level that the Premier of Quebec has no credibility when he speaks because we know that we can't trust his word one way or the other.